Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the channel. It is another tutorial about the cameras and how to modify the cameras and go outside of your planes. And this time our example will be the 777-300. So as I always used to say, keep notes, and I will try to make it as short as possible. An amazing airport. We have already shown this airport, one of the best airports of last year and also of this one, I would say. And we go to our plane, which must be somewhere near here. Here it is. Here is our plane. So, a wonderful 777-300, and actually it is the only livery on internet that exists, this 777-300 of Air Baltic, a dedicated one. So, let us go inside our plane. And let us go close to the windows. This is important. And actually this camera is Alt 8 and this camera is Alt 7. We're talking about Alt 7 and Alt 8. These two cameras we will modify. Of course, here you can ask, but we are already outside of the plane, isn't it? The truth is that we are not. We are inside the plane. This is the saved camera. The cameras that you will modify must be close to the windows. This is the 777 of Air Baltic. So now we exit the game. Now there is a folder that we must locate, so please do me this favor and make a screenshot of this one here, because it shows exactly the location where you will find this folder, either if you have the Steam edition or if you have the Microsoft Store edition of the game or if you have the DVDs. So this is quite useful and I would suggest you to take a screenshot. I think it is quite visible. A funny thing is that lots of times I have to watch my own tutorials. I have to watch my own tutorials in order to understand and to remember what I was doing. And this is exactly what I did earlier. So I'm quite anxious, the truth is, because I haven't modified the 777-300. And let us hope that it will be successful. So everything goes live actually. You go, my computer, suppose local disk C, and then you go users, your name or my PC, my computer, and then you go app data, and then you go local, and then you go packages, not MSFS packages, this one, but packages here, this one, okay? And then you find this one here, Microsoft Flight Simulator 8 something. Be careful because there are lots of Microsoft folders. You are looking for this one here, Microsoft Flight Simulator 8 and so on. Okay. And then you go local cache here. And then you go sim objects. Not the list of the planes, but airplanes, this one here. Be careful because these files are exactly the same and they also exist here. So you click airplanes. And here you find the plane that you want to modify. Our example, we said it will be the 777-300, which is somewhere here. It is exactly this one here. And then you go cameras, and you copy this file, because this is the original file. In case that something goes wrong, you must have this file. So you copy this file and bring it on your desktop, just in case that something goes wrong. Okay, so in case that something goes wrong, you will bring back the original settings. Okay. And now we will modify this file, cameras. We said that we will modify camera number 7 and number 8. If this is not enough, we will continue with camera number 9. So we are looking for camera definition number 7 and number 8. Okay, camera definition 0. Here it is. Camera definition 6. And camera definition 7. Here it is. Okay, camera definition 7. So the only thing that you have to do is you change this, the very end, isn't it? You change the initial XYZ axis. You have heard about the initial XYZ axis. So you change this, backspace, -5. Okay? We continue and we do exactly the same with camera definition number 8. Here it is. Initial XYZ axis, it is here. You go here. Please be careful not to press any dot or whatever. Just backspace, -5. Okay. And now we save changes. Save changes. Okay, so this is our new modified file. I repeat again that if something goes wrong, here is the original file. I'm quite anxious about the results, so I will return to the game and let us hope that we were successful. The moment of truth. Do you want to hear the bad news or the good news first? Let's start with the good news. We were successful. We're outside of the plane. We said that we use, though we are outside of the plane, we use the commands of the cockpit, the commands of being inside the plane. That means that we use Alt and the arrows. We navigate also with right click, Alt, arrow up, Shift, right arrow, and so on. There are tutorials about it. Let us not insist. We are outside of the plane. And so we said that we said one camera is enough. It is enough to save one camera, and then we will modify the others. So since that we managed to be outside of the plane, let us save, let's say, a camera view somewhere here. We save this camera view. That means that I press Ctrl plus Alt plus 7. Here it is. Alt 0, for instance, and Alt 7. This is the new camera and we are outside of the plane. So now let us continue with the bad news, which is something that we will manage to fix at the very end. But this is a little bit strange. Somehow, surprisingly, the changes were done to cameras number 1 and number 2, Alt 1 and Alt 2. When I entered inside the game again, I found this. Alt 1. Is it okay? Is it? Alt 2? Aha, Alt 2 here. Yeah, you see, I found this. Modifications are done on cameras number 2, which is a cockpit camera, and number 3, Alt 3, which is also a cockpit camera. However, camera number 1, Alt 1, survived, this one here. And so when I found myself outside of the plane, here, which is Alt 2, isn't it? This is exactly what happened, which is strange a little bit. Then I went to the wing, isn't it? And we saved this camera in position Alt 7. Exactly, here we are outside of the plane. Which means, of course, that now I must bring back the cockpit cameras, and I'm very glad that camera number 1, which is the main camera, we said that cameras Alt 1, Alt 2, and Alt 3, and sometimes even Alt 4 are the takeoff and landing cameras. And so here, of course, I will not keep this one, isn't it? I go, let's say, somewhere here. Okay, let us say something like this. And so I save this one as camera number 2. This will be a cockpit camera, CTRL plus Alt plus 2. So Alt 1, isn't it? Alt 2. I will save this as camera number 3, CTRL plus Alt plus 3, so that I will have a look, let's say, at my instruments, my PFD, my map, and also the autopilot features. So this is CTRL plus Alt plus 3. And now I think that I'm done, because I have new cockpit cameras, Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3. And the What's Up Guys view, the WAC camera, What's Up Guys, Alt 4. And later, I suppose I will modify the other cameras. Let us not insist any further. For instance, here, Alt 5, here we are still inside the plane. These are my previous cameras. Alt 6, you see, here I'm again inside the plane. These are my saved cameras before the modification. And here comes the success, Alt 7. Here we are outside of the plane. And don't forget that you use the cockpit commands, which is Alt and the arrows, arrow up, arrow down, arrow right, and arrow left. With the mouse right click you turn, or with shift and arrow, as you prefer, isn't it? And now you can navigate everywhere. For instance, when we will go from the other side, we will go somehow higher. Now I press only arrow up, isn't it? We will go here. Just for example, I will change this as well. And now, for instance, here, I will save somewhere here maybe a new camera. This is the camera that we modified, Alt 7, the new camera. However, you see, if I go to Alt 8, because we modified these two cameras, Alt 7 and Alt 8, so if I press Alt 8, here it is, you see that nothing happens, isn't it? We are inside the plane. A nice idea, of course, a nice idea, a nice camera, but we're still inside the plane. I cannot go further if I press, for instance, Alt and arrow up. Nothing happens. This is strange. It is the first time that happened. However, since we are successful with Alt 7 and we saved this camera view, it means that I will continue later and I will save the other cameras, the external cameras of the 777-300, and that was definitely another major success. Just a few things before the end of this clip. There are also other tutorials where we modified the 777-200, the external cameras I mean, of the 777-200 and of the 777-200 cargo. We also modified the cameras of the 767-400 and of the 767-300, the cameras of the CJ4 and the cameras of the Grand Caravan 208B we modified, and also the cameras of the Dreamliner, the small Dreamliner, the 787-9. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is all for now. I will not insist any further. Please have a look at the tutorials of the other planes if you are interested, and definitely in all these clips I'm trying to show to you the mechanism which is behind the modification of the external cameras for MSFS, for the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this clip. Don't forget to support the channel, comment, thumbs up. You take care and bye for now.